Hello and welcome to day 6, Becoming the Change. Today is actually going to be a really big one. My intention for this 7-day challenge was to create a lot of value for you, share a lot of new concepts and techniques that you can use. But my intention was also to keep it brief, which is why I wanted to create a 7-day challenge instead of a 30-day program, which I've created in the past. But I couldn't help myself. In the process of creating this course, I've changed a lot, and I've really crystallized some understandings and techniques, and experiencing the course for myself, doing the meditations. There's a few things that I really felt that I had to include, and so I've created a couple of extra lessons in day 6 for you, which I think is just really going to give you the knowledge and the tools that you need to fucking go out into the world and create the life that you want. So, well done for making it this far. There's a lot in this course, and don't stress if it's taken you more than a week. It's highly unlikely that you've pumped through all of this content in a week, done all the exercises, and allowed everything to integrate. If you have, well done, but if it's been a couple of weeks, a few weeks, a month, more, that's perfect. It's perfect because it's the timing that's come naturally to you. So if you're ready to jump into this next part, I promise you're going to get a lot of value out of it. When you're ready, let's dive in. In day 2, we spoke about the law of correspondence. So we understand now that everything in our entire universe, everything in our reality, is essentially just a reflection of ourselves, each of us, individually and collectively. What this means is that everything in your life right now, every single thing, all the goods, all the bads, all the challenges, the situation that you're experiencing right now in your life, and me too, this goes the same for me. It's there because on some level it holds some energetic resonance to the energy that you're holding in your body, in your field of energy. This is what physics teaches us, and this is what quantum science is now starting to prove. We attract the outcomes in our life based on our state of vibration. In fact, all of the emotions that you experience in your life on a day-to-day basis can be measured at a rate of vibration as frequency. Each emotion vibrates at a different level of frequency. Lower vibrational emotions like fear, guilt, and shame vibrate at a lower frequency, whereas love, excitement, passion, peace are vibrating at a higher frequency. And we can see this by studying Hawkins' scale of consciousness. I'll attach a copy for you below so that you can look at this a little bit deeper. When we are caught in a certain emotion, in a certain frequency, and we express words and actions in that energy, what we're doing is emitting a powerful expression of energy out into the universe. We are constantly emitting energy back into the universe, into the collective field, with every single thing that we do, every word spoken, every action taken, every decision made. Through every single choice that we make, we are shaping our own reality. We are creating the world that we live in. This is the law of vibration. The energy that I put out is the energy that I'm going to receive back. So if I choose to remain in the vibration of fear, and if I choose to express energy through words and actions in fear, I'm actually asking to receive outcomes that are going to create more of that energy and emotion in my life. Just as if I took action through love and compassion for another person or something that I'm excited about, I'm going to attract people and outcomes that hold that same energy, that create more of it. I'm going to experience that emotion because it's what I'm putting out. Can you think back on your life and recognize a time where you felt that this is exactly what happened to you? If you woke up one day and you felt really great and you went out and started your day, you went out into the world and things just flowed, everything just flowed, things came to you, good situations, good outcomes happened to you. It's because you're in energetic alignment with those things, you're holding the right energy and you're attracting more of those things to you. I like to think of this like going fishing. It's like, depending on the bait that you put on the hook of your rod or on your fishing line, and you cast it out into the ocean, into the world. The world is like a sea, an ocean of energy. It's just always flowing. There's different energy floating around. And your actions and the words you express and your intention is like the fishing rod. It's like you're casting that out into the world. And the bait that you put on the hook has to be the right energy. It has to be the right emotion, the right frequency to capture the thing that you want. If I cast out into the world an emotion of fear and the belief of scarcity, then I'm going to receive exactly those things back, because I'm in a state of alignment to receive those. Does this on some level resonate with you? Does it feel true? And this information forces us to go through a very important shift. A shift from living in victim consciousness to stepping into a creator consciousness. We're shifting from being a victim to being the creator of our lives. When we understand that we are the predominant creative force of our lives, we are creating our own life experience through our energy and intention. It forces us to become responsible for all that's happening in our lives. It's a really difficult shift to make. It was for me, at least, because it forced me to look at the shit that I was avoiding and ignoring. It forced me to look at all the ways that I wasn't taking responsibility for my life, and all the ways that I was justifying my inaction and justifying why I couldn't have the things that I wanted, when the truth was that I wasn't going after it because I didn't feel like I was good enough, or because I was afraid of what might happen. It forces you to be accountable for your own life. And the reason that this is so difficult is because it means that only we have the power to change our situation. Only we have the power to change our life. No one else is coming to save us. We are the gods of our own universe. Let that sink in. Whew. It's power. There's so much power in accepting that truth. And this is a huge difference from what we're taught to believe. The majority of people are stuck in a victim mentality. They create, and I've been here for sure, for a long time. They create negative outcomes out of fear. They take action through fear. And then they use their life situation, their circumstance that they've created to justify their own inaction. It's a vicious place to be in it, because it's a cycle, and it's a cycle of your own creation. Man, it's a hard one to break out of. Do you know what? I remember the exact moment that I made this shift in consciousness. I remember the exact moment that I realized that I was stuck in a victim mentality, victim consciousness. I was working as a carpenter at the time, and I was doing some work on this lady's house she was an older woman, and she must have seen something in me, because she really cared for me over the maybe 4 or 5 days that I worked on her home. She was just plodding around the house. I was doing some renovations, and she kept coming and kind of tending to me, making sure I had water, making sure I had food. She was very caring and compassionate. And we got chatting over the week, and maybe 5 years ago, and it was a time when I was really struggling in my life. I was going through a lot of ups and downs, and I was so afraid. I was living in so much fear, and I still had a lot of unprocessed trauma and experiences from when I was younger. And she could obviously see that in me. This lady was very, I would say, close to God, however you want to define God. She was a religious woman. She was very spiritual, and she could sense in me that I had some demons. And we got talking over the week, she would ask me certain questions, and she started to paint a picture of what my life was like and the challenges that I was facing. And she slowly sort of started to try to unravel some of the challenges and the problems that I was sharing. And by the end of the week, she asked me a question and I answered. It was a question, I can't remember. It was a question based around a specific challenge. And she basically provided a solution, a very clear and simple solution. And I rejected it. I was like, I can't do that because of this. And I realized that I was reaching for a reason why I couldn't. I think it was to move away from my hometown. I couldn't move away from my hometown. I couldn't go and start a new life because of this, because of that, because of that. I kept trying to find a reason why I couldn't do the thing that I wanted to do, that I felt that I should do. And she turned to me and she said, looked very deep in my eyes, and she said, I don't think you want to be helped. And she just turned and walked away. And I was like, fuck. It took me a couple days to realize that she was right, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy shit, she's right. I've been creating all of these excuses, trying to justify all the reasons why I can't go and do the thing that I feel that I want to do, because the truth was that I was just too afraid to go and do it. And it was this moment, this boom. It was like my life before that moment and my life after. And I realized that, yeah, I created all of this. I created all of this situation, all of the problems in my life I put there because I was afraid to go after the life that I wanted for myself. Because I didn't feel like I was good enough. That was the truth. And when I made that realization, when I shifted into this other state of consciousness, all of those problems disappeared. None of them mattered anymore. And I went and did the thing. I moved away. I found a new home and I started a new life. Yeah, it was a really powerful shift in my life. It was a very difficult shift to make as well. The truth is that the majority of people are stuck in a problem orientation. That means to be stuck trying to problem solve everything in your life, focusing entirely on what's going wrong and trying to solve it, trying to fix the situation, trying to fix themselves so that eventually they can get to that place they want to go to. And we've got it all wrong. It's not supposed to be that way. And this habit of trying to problem solve our life to the point that we want it to be usually follows the same process. Firstly, a challenge arises in our life. Secondly, we immediately try to solve the situation. Thirdly, we continue to focus our attention on the situation, on the challenge, thereby feeding our energy to it. Fourthly, we create goals that are motivated to escape the situation instead of setting goals that are focused on creating the outcome that we actually want. We take action through fear instead of through love. And fifth, because the intention is to escape the problem, not to create a better future, to escape the problem still has to exist in our reality as a point of reference. Does that make sense? It means that it has to exist for us to achieve the goal, but we can't actually achieve the goal without the problem there. So we get caught in this loop of trying to problem solve everything in our life. Instead of getting caught in this loop, what we can do is step into a creative orientation, step into our creative power. We can accept the current reality for exactly what it is, and then we can rise above it. We can choose to focus our awareness on what we would rather experience, the positive outcome that we want to move towards. We can focus on that. We don't try and fix reality. We don't try and fix ourselves because there's nothing to fix. We simply just create the reality that we do want. And as a result of creating that reality, the problem no longer exists. I really went through it. I had to really experience this shift from problem to creative orientation. And it was really hard for me to do. And the example that I will share, the example that I went through, was around my finances. I was in such a state of financial stress and scarcity, and all I wanted was to have financial freedom and to have some more time and energy to do the things that I wanted. And what I realized was I was so focused on just avoiding, getting away from that lingering anxiety of running out of money and not being able to feed myself, not being able to keep the lights on. That was so in my awareness, and it was from my upbringing. We grew up, didn't have a lot of money. We were always worried about not being able to pay the power and water, being able to afford groceries. I was in this mindset, and my mind was so consumed in this scarcity mindset that I was constantly recreating it in my reality instead of focusing on what I actually wanted instead. And what happened was I stopped trying to avoid what I didn't want, and I just started to move towards what I did want. And it seemed like almost instantly my situation changed. That financial stress and anxiety went away, and I have the freedom and flexibility now to do the things that I want to do. And I just feel the peace of mind of living in the reality that I wanted. This can be an extremely difficult shift to make, but I would say it is the most important shift that you can make in your life, because it puts you back into your creative power. You feel like you're the creative force, you're back in control of your life. Life flows from you. The world isn't happening against you or to you. You are moving through the world with intention, and it's like Noah parting the seas. You have an intention, and the world just gets out of the way to create that for you. You step into your creative power, and it feels fucking great. It feels amazing. You may not understand this concept in a single lesson, and that's okay. It may take days, it may take months. For me, it took years, but I would say that you are here. You have come across this knowledge for a reason. This process of creating new outcomes in our life is very, very different from what we're taught to believe. When you make this shift to create a consciousness, you no longer try to fix your situation. You no longer try to fix yourself, because you understand that there is nothing to fix. Nothing is broken. In fact, everything is perfect. Your life situation may not be what you want, but it is exactly what you created. And that might piss you off to hear. It pissed me off when I first heard it, because it's like, why would I create this situation? Why would I create this problem in my life? But there is always a reason. Everything in your life serves a purpose to you on some level. It's just a matter of becoming conscious of what that reason is and creating a better situation for yourself, creating a better life for yourself. A quote that I really love goes, "We always achieve our goals. The challenge lies in setting the right intention." We are powerful creators, and most of us don't even know it. We are constantly manifesting our thoughts into reality. It's not about becoming more creative. It's not about doing more or being better. You already are a powerful, creative being. It's only a matter of becoming aware of what you're already creating, choosing what you would like to experience, and focusing on bringing that into creation instead. Because of my own experiences growing up, I spent over a decade of my life trying to prove that I was good enough. But it never mattered what I did. It didn't matter how much I did or how well I achieved something, because the root belief that was motivating the goal that I was going after was fueled by the belief that I wasn't worthy. So no matter how much I worked learned or earned, it still wasn't enough. All of my actions were fueled by the unconscious belief that I wasn't good enough. So it wouldn't have mattered how far I got to. Little did I know that I was achieving my goal every single time. The goal was never to reach financial freedom. It was never to meet the love of my life. It was never to make an impact in the world. No, just under the surface of my conscious mind was the desire to feel good enough. That was the goal. Do you see what I mean? I was unconsciously but successfully creating that reality over and over again. I was stuck in a loop. I was stuck in a pattern. I was operating on an unconscious program to try to feel good enough. And I was never conscious that this was the reason why I was doing things. I just felt I had to do better, be better. Once I entered into this state of creator consciousness, once I understood that everything in my life was just a reflection of my internal state and my beliefs, once I understood that I am the creator of life, just as you are, I stopped feeding this belief my energy. I stopped unconsciously creating evidence for it to be true. I started focusing on the life that I actually wanted to live and on the person that I would need to become in order to create it. I started giving my energy to that reality, and pretty quickly it started to come into creation. Every single aspect of your life right now, exactly the way it is, whether you're aware of it or not, is serving a purpose. You made it that way. You created that. And I know that this is shit to hear, but deep down, some aspect of you knows that this is true. You can feel it. Does it carry a vibration of truth? Just close your eyes for a moment and feel into that statement. Every single aspect of your life, exactly the way it is right now, whether you are aware of it or not, is serving you a purpose. How does that feel? Does it feel true? To me, truth feels like flow. It feels like lightness. It feels like expansion. To know when something isn't true, or to know when someone's lying to you, just read the energy they're emitting. Just feel the energy they're giving off. It'll feel the opposite. It'll feel blocked. It'll feel heavy. It'll feel constricted. When we learn to consciously create a life that we would love to live, we shift to focusing less on physical matter, less on the physical circumstances of our life, and more on the non-physical aspects of our life, being energy and consciousness. We focus our consciousness on what we would love to create, and we allow this intuitive wisdom that we hold within us to guide us the way there. We become more aware of the energy that we're holding in our body and the energy that we're emitting out into the world, because it's this energy that is actually attracting and creating the situations that we're finding ourselves in. Simply put, we're starting to work less with physical matter and more with energy and frequency. We're learning to move through life in a flow state with the universe. We're learning to create in alignment with universal law. It's no coincidence that the greatest minds in history spoke about these exact principles. Albert Einstein's famous quote, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it." Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. Nikola Tesla's famous quote, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This is exactly what we're talking about. Gautama Buddha, the Buddha himself, says, what you think, you create. What you feel, you attract. And what you imagine, you become. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this up. This shit is real. Shit is real. It's mind-blowing stuff. It's like learning. It's like slowly getting an instruction manual on how to be a human being, how to create your reality. It's to me, this is like the most exciting thing ever. This is something that I've been obsessed with since the day I was born. Always thinking about the universe, trying to work out how reality works and how we move through the world and how things come into creation. It's been my passion to understand this stuff for my entire life and to receive little like hints of wisdom, little pieces of wisdom from people, from history, through books and through conversations and through meditation, from nature itself. It makes me feel so alive. It makes me feel so connected to something greater. I hope you feel that too, because man, I've never felt anything like it. And don't worry if this concept hasn't sunk in just yet. Once you begin to experience this for yourself, you'll understand it in your own way. And also understand that it's already within you. This knowledge is already within you. You're not learning as much as remembering what's already there. And once you enter this flow state, this state of flow with the universe, once you enter that place, everything will just be instinct. It will be like a reflex for you. Every possible outcome you could ever imagine exists in space. This is often called the quantum field, the unified field, or the multiverse. This is the space of infinite potential. And this is the space that you connected to in yesterday's meditation. If you haven't experienced it already, I recommend that you go and do that. It's called Infinite Potential Guided Meditation. Go and experience it. And this is also the place and the state of consciousness that you enter during your daily practice through meditation. It's really important that we enter this space on a daily basis to receive guidance and to connect to that altered state of consciousness. If you're not already doing this on a daily basis, or as much as you possibly can, I highly recommend that you do this, because magic happens when you enter this other state of consciousness. It shifts your frequency and vibration. It gives you clarity of what you're creating. You become extremely conscious of what you're putting out in the universe. And as a result, life starts to change very rapidly. I highly recommend that you do this. The vision that you have in your mind, even if it's not fully defined yet, it already exists in the quantum field. That potentiality is already out there. It already exists. And it's okay if you haven't developed your vision just yet. We'll get there, I promise. We exist in a web of infinite potential realities. And the version of reality that you want to exist in, the one that you see in your mind, it's already out there. It already exists. And there is a version of you that has already created it. This is really key to understand. Well done, by the way. You've created that already. Props. And look, it's up to you if you want to believe in the multiverse. I know this stuff is pretty far-fetched for some people. Multiple timelines, parallel realities. But you have to admit, it makes a lot of sense. Science can't disprove this. It's actually highly likely that this is a possibility. And it really removes your inability to believe in yourself, because there's a version of you that's already created it. So it is possible for you to do anything you can set your mind to. Walt Disney talks about this. His famous quote is, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Walt Disney understood this creative power. He understood this knowledge. He understood this truth, and he lived by it. Look at the empire he created. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you can see that potential reality, if you can see a reality that you've already created, it means that it's possible. It means that it's already out there. You just have to bring it into creation. And that process of bringing it into creation is what I'm here to teach you. Like I said, I know this can be pretty far-fetched if this is a new understanding for you. For anyone, I think personally I am a huge dreamer, and I like to believe in wild theories and beliefs. I like to be different. Even this was so hard for me to believe, like alternate realities, multiple timelines, your imagination, anything being possible. I liked to think it was possible, but until recently in my life, I didn't fully accept it as truth. And the moment that I did, the moment that I really understood this, everything changed. And you might be thinking, Tom, where is the proof? How can this be possible? Show me the evidence. Well, bring to mind now how you would like your life to look. Go ahead, close your eyes and visualize what you would like your life to be. Call it imagination, visualization, or a dream, whatever you like. What you are doing is projecting your consciousness into an alternate reality, into a different time and space. In fact, in the process of creating a better life, because it already exists out there, we're not so much creating something new, but rather coming into vibrational alignment for us to attract that potentiality towards us until eventually it becomes a reality. This is quite powerful knowledge. Allow today's lesson to settle in. It may take some time. It's normal if this new awareness creates a shift for you in your life, whether it's mental, emotional, or even physical. Sometimes we experience a tingling sensation in our head. If you're experiencing this, it's new neural pathways being formed. It's very common that a shift in your awareness can create a very rapid change in your life, whether it's your job, your relationship, or your health. This is completely normal. It's very important to also realize that although you are a creative force, although you are creating your own life experience, you're also working in collaboration with nature, with the universe, or God. And sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways. Just like a forest fire breathing new life for a jungle to grow, things will often seem like they're getting worse right before things get better. So trust the process. Trust the process. If you do experience this and things start to very quickly change in your life, remember this is perfectly normal. There's often nothing else you need to do. Just simply becoming aware of something is enough to change your situation, change your reality. If you do need some extra support, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to guide you. You can contact me directly through this platform, or you can reach out to me on Instagram at Thomas Journals. As I said, it's quite powerful knowledge, so a word of caution, not everyone is ready for this level of awareness. Not everyone is ready to become fully accountable for the life that they're creating. A lot of people choose to remain in the safety of being a victim of their circumstances in order to justify their own inaction. They may not be ready to step into their creative power and really change their life. And you may want to just grab someone and shake them out of their unconscious state, especially if it's someone that you love. But it's important to remember that each of us are on our own journey, and each of us are moving in our own perfect timing. Please feel free to share this lesson with anyone that you think might benefit from this knowledge. Does anyone come to mind? But also allow them to come to their own truth in their own time, just as you and I have. This was a huge one. I'll see you in the next lesson. Peace.